Okay, so first of all, thank you for joining us today. So obviously this is a little bit different to coming into college, but we just want to ensure that you know everything about your chosen course and what college has to offer, which is why we've put on the virtual event. So I'm just going to start with a short presentation, general college information from our side of things. After I've done that, I'll pass over to David and Jim. So they are the tutors for art and design, and they're going to give you some information about the courses and that sort of thing. First of all, this will be no longer than 30 minutes, so you won't be on for too long. You won't be on camera at all, you won't have access to a mic, so we can't hear or see you as students. If you do have any questions throughout, so whether that's something you want to ask now or once you've seen the presentation, if there's anything that comes up that you're not sure on, pop a question in the chat facility. I will keep tabs on that and I'll pass any questions over to David or Jim. So just let me share my screen. I'm just going to show you a short presentation and we'll go from there. Okay, so hopefully you can all see that. Can you, David, can you and Jim see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yes.
Okay, fab. So first of all, welcome to our virtual open event for St Helens College. So applications are still open. So if you've got an interest in art and design, but you've not yet applied, or you've applied for a different course, changed your mind and you want to do art and design or anything like that, applications are still open and you can apply through our website. So that's just on the website, link is just there. That's what you just need to pop in and do your application online. Alternatively, if you've applied and you've changed your mind on a course, there'll be an email for our admissions team at the end of this presentation. So that's another useful thing for you to just jot down in case you do need to email if you've got any questions over your application or anything like that. So although you are on today for art and design, this is just a range of courses that we do offer at college. So we offer things from A-levels to vocational and BTEC courses through to apprenticeships in all of these areas that we've got on the screen now. So that was just something, a little bit of information for you guys. Okay, so benefits of being a student. So at college, we do offer things like a free breakfast. So you've got to be in on time. If you're in before 9:15, ready to start the day for your course, you will get a free breakfast. We also offer things like a free college bus pass. So we have a free college bus that runs, but we also offer bus passes for Arriva. So if you're not on our free route, you will get a bus pass. We have Microsoft Office 365 package. So that's useful for you to download on your computer at home for free, because you are a student with us. That will help you obviously with things like coursework or anything like that. Student discount, so as a student anywhere you will get student discounts. Due to down to your financial circumstances and things like that, you could be entitled to a bursary, but that is quite, there's some things that you have to hit to get that. So that's something that you'd have to look at enrolment stage. Not everybody is entitled to a bursary, unfortunately, but that is something that you may be entitled to. Again, free college lunch and assistance for buying uniforms and that sort of thing. Again, down to financial circumstances, so different for everybody, but that is also something that you could be entitled to as a student with us. Okay, so we have a really good safeguarding and wellbeing team at college. So they're there for a range of support. So whether that's for things that you're struggling with, whether it's mental health or anything like that, or whether it's just somebody to talk to if you're feeling really stressed out or anything along those lines. We have a team that are dedicated to supporting our students. So that's all of the team on the screen at the moment. We also have learner support as well. So if there's anything that you struggle with, so let's say for example dyslexia or anything like that, and you struggle with your written work, we have learner support there. So we have people who can support you in those things. So you would need to just declare those at enrolment. If you do have any additional needs or anything like that, if you let us know, we can help you as best as we can. So that's the end of it with me, really. So there's just our social media accounts. If you're not following us, please give us a follow. Everything is up to date on there. So even things like obviously communications over coronavirus and all of the things that are going on at the moment, everything is updated on our website and on our social media channels. So that's useful to give those a follow. And again, I mentioned earlier the admissions email. So if you've not yet if you've put your application in, you've changed your mind or anything like that, you can drop us an email at admissions. Also, the staff are currently doing interviews for those that have not had their interview yet. Obviously, we've got a lot of applications, so a lot of interviews to get through. So it could take a couple of weeks to get to you. But if you've not had your phone interview through by the end of next week, if you drop admissions an email, they can just make our team aware that you've not been contacted yet. Okay, so like I say, that's the end of it from me. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. I'm just going to pass over now to David and Jim. They'll take it between themselves to do a bit of a presentation for you and explain all about our courses and things like that. So I'm just going to pass over now. I'm just going to mute myself for now. But as I said, any questions, just pop it in the chat facility and I can pass them over to David and Jim. Okay, thanks.
Okay, I'm Jim Morgan. Okay, if you haven't met me before, I'm the curriculum manager for the area of art and design. And this presentation really is about all the different courses for art and design within our area at St Helens College. So it'll take a few minutes to go through, and then there's a slide, quite an important slide at the end that explains the different courses and what you need to do. And David, who's a colleague, who's an art and design lecturer, he'll talk about the level 1 briefly while we go through the slides. Okay. If there's anything in the chat, I think Bethany will point it out. If I can answer any questions as we go through, that'll be fine. Fiona's another tutor, but she's actually going to do her own presentation on Friday to the foundation students. So again, there's the college contacts. There's my contact details. jmorgan@sthelens.ac.uk. Right. So this slide's about some of the careers that you can do within art and design. So it's a very broad area and covers lots of sort of career aspirations and sort of ideas that you might not have thought about. But it is a massive area in terms of the British economy, really, more than you ever expect. Our area also sort of merges with media, so it's not something I manage, but it's an area where there is an overlap between media students and art students, and they are in our building, in Smithkline Beecham building. So there is chances to collaborate with the media students and produce films and things like that. Use their facilities as well. Okay, Dave, do you want to talk about the level 1? Well, I'll put a few images on the screen and Dave will talk about level 1 for a minute.
Okay, I'm David Ballantyne. I am the course leader for the level 1 art and design course. I also teach on other courses within the department at level 2 and at level 3. The level 1 course is really for students who maybe have not done so well with their GCSE results, so that they may not have got particularly high grades, or they may want to do art and design, but they don't feel particularly confident about it. So we have a wide range of learners on the level 1 course, which is a credit to the course and the staff who teach on it. We're able to address that. So on that course, you will do things like painting and drawing. You'll be taught those skills. You'll be taught about printmaking, and you'll do printmaking. You'll do a range of 3D skills. You'll do live briefs, which, as well as projects that the college sets, or the course sets you will do briefs that come from outside. So we did 2 charity projects in this academic year, and we do that most years. That's where you have to work for an external client. But the course is very much about building up your confidence and your skills and getting you ready to move on to that next stage. So if things have not gone that well at school, that's not a barrier to you getting into the art and design sector and then going up that ladder until eventually you move on to university and then a career in art and design. So it's a good broad course, lots of positive encouragement that will help you. Is that okay, Jim?
That's great, Dave. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we'll move on to the level 2. Okay, some images. These are typical students' work. This is work that we would have been putting on with our level 2 at college this year, a few weeks ago. But obviously we've been unable to do that. But this is last year's, I think, or the year before's, or certainly a few images. So the students on level 2 do quite a lot of 3D. So they were making a project, and these are little models that students made about a restaurant, redesigning a restaurant space. So it's about learning about different materials and how to construct stuff in the workshops, but also designing and producing drawings and illustrations of ideas that you would produce if you had a chance. And the graphic design based students on the level 2 course did posters and the frontage of the restaurants, that sort of thing. This is current work, actually. I think that's Steve Lucas, who's the program leader for the. Oh no, it was you, David, wasn't it? You sent this. This is collage work. Yeah. Yeah,
it's me, and it's a project that myself, as a 2D artist, does, and also our photographer, stroke digital lecturer, Steve Lucas, and it's a stamp project. So these are some of the early pieces where the students were experimenting with collage and colour and backgrounds and putting things together. And these were actually made physically using collage and cutouts and paint, but then they would be scanned and the students would then manipulate them digitally. So that on that course, they're learning both things. They're learning digital skills, but they're also learning quite traditional drawing, painting, collage skills as well.
Okay. So moving on to the level 3, this is scenes from an exhibition that we would have put on. This is last year's, where we invite all the parents and families and everybody else to come celebrate the success of the students. So, so printmaking, ceramics, the whole. We've got great facilities at the college. I'll run through those things in a second, but this is, I'm talking about the level 3 photography. You can actually apply to do photography as a separate course or a specialist course, but on the art and design you still do photography. So it's a very broad area. If you join the art and design group, you will do all these different subjects and experience them. And then hopefully you'll know what you want to do for university. That's the idea. You do little tasters in all these things. Quite a lot of the things you might not have ever tried before.
Whereas if you do the level 3 photography, you'll do a broad range of subjects within photography. So you'll do digital photography and darkroom photography, documentary, studio photography. So the thing that Jim's saying about the art course, which is very broad, photography, graphics, fine art, 3D, photography is broad as well, but within photography.
That's it. So the same with graphics. I mean, we've got great studios for drawing and painting, but this is the studio that we use for the graphic design. So they've set, normally there's computers all set around the outside and a drawing area in the middle, but it's been set up for the exhibition for last year. So these are students' images that have been printed from their graphics work, all right? And the stuff at the back there's T-shirts and posters and 3D card cutouts from laser printing. Okay, this is an example there. All right, so we've got life drawing studios, we've got specialist ceramics and 3D. So you can make things in clay, wood, metal, plastics, a little bit of glass. We sort of experiment with all sorts of things. So you get a really good broad interest. And sometimes you might think, I really don't want to do that again. Yeah. And other times you might think, I've never tried that, but actually that's fantastic. That's what I want to do as a career. So that's the sort of general ethos at the beginning of the courses that we have. We also,
lots of students arrive with quite a set idea of what they want to do, and some students are very uncertain, and the courses accommodate both of those types of students. And some students end up specialising and becoming brilliant at things they'd never done before they started the courses. And that's also worth remembering.
So this is, there are other presentations next Monday for the game art and the graphics and photography, and their tutors are doing those presentations like I am, or we are today. But it's worth knowing that these other things are options in your future, because you might start on a level 1 course and then progress through these other courses, and these are progressions onto level 3 within graphics or VFX, games or photography. So, and possibly, you know, some of the students also progress onto the media courses. So they might start off on an art design level 1 course, go on to the level 2 digital group, and then do level 3 media. We had a couple who did that a couple of years ago. So it is another option for you if your ideas change, or if you want to sort of do animation and filmmaking as a career. It's still there. We're still being able to do it. Okay, this is the slide that I sort of mentioned. We'll just take a little minute to sort of go through this. You've got the courses at the top and the titles and the subjects in the middle, and then the entry requirements. So that's what we expect you to have when you start the course, and then what the course is worth at the end. So there's the level 1 in green at the top there. It's a 1-year course. It's generally for students who've got, well, there's the old GCSE grades that still might apply, I suppose, here and there, but it's generally grades 1 and 2 now. And the course is worth 4 grade Ds, right, once you've achieved. Okay, we've got the level 2 after that, and that's a brand new course. We have run level 2s for sort of 40 years, but this is a brand new course that's just been opened and available to us, and it's called level 2 in art and design skills. So it's about skilling you up and giving you lots of opportunities to try loads of different things. That's worth 3 GCSEs, and we want you to try and have a GCSE pass grade at grade 4 or above to get onto that course. Or if you've previously completed a level 1 course at St Helens, then we'll accept you onto the course there, because you'll know what we do. We'll know that you're a committed student who have achieved at level 1, and you can progress to the level 2. If you do quite well though at GCSEs, when your results come out in August, if you have at least 4 pass grades, including an English language or a literature or a maths class of GCSE, then you can directly go on to the level 3, and you don't need to do the level 1 or the level 2 prior to that. So it's really, unless you've already got your grades at the moment and you've done it last year, you will be getting your exams results in August, and then at that point, then we'll sort of accept you onto either the level 1, the level 2, or the level 3 course after that. So we'll be looking at your GCSE results and then giving you advice about that sort of thing. So we've got the level 3 covers 2 years. We've got in the first year you do the National Diploma in Art and Design Practice. You complete that course, and then hopefully you can then progress on to the extended diploma in art and design practice in the second year. And we've got that at level 3 course covers art and design and graphics, photography and media. So it's generally a very broad course, but we do have the specialist groups within those things like the graphics or photography. But all the art students, if you're doing the art and design course, you will do projects that are graphic-y on the computers and so on, or in photography. So you do need to have some pass grades. You need at least 4 pass grades to get onto that, including English. We want you to have achieved 1 GCSE in maths or English, or hopefully both. And then there's in the brown, there's the AIM award. So this is a different qualification at the same level. And this is for students who want to do games, animation. The VFX means visual effects. All right, so it's very, very broad again, very technical. that's got a, we're the only centre in the Northwest who provide that course. It started off in the Northeast in Sunderland. They developed a course there. They wanted another college to provide this course in the Northwest, and we were chosen. We got selected for that. So it's a really good, excellent course for employability. You do need pretty good maths to get onto that. So there's a lot of programming, and there's maths exams within that course. So that's quite a tricky one. And then at the bottom there, I don't suppose there's anybody on who's already done the GCSEs or A-levels, but that's a course for students who've already achieved A-levels and want to do a specialist course. So you might have done English A-level and sociology and art at school or college, and then you're not quite sure what to do, but you've chosen art, but you want to specialise a little bit. So that's a broad course for students who want to learn a bit more about art before they apply to university. So so they experience that through that course. All right, we can also, from the level 3 or 4 courses, you can progress onto university courses in degrees in fine art, graphics, games and media. Okay, and there's my contacts, jmorgan@sthelens.ac.uk. So if there's anybody who's got any questions after this, if you jot that number down or my email, I'll hopefully get back to you and answer any questions. All right. So I'm just going to very quickly go through these because I think most of these things have already been dealt with and discussed. The only other little thing really is we're trying to get art packs this year for students so that you can work independently. We're trying to arrange for you to pay perhaps £10, something like that, towards it if you do art and design. So you're making a contribution to that, but it will mean if we are working at home a little bit more than we might expect in September, then you will have you know, some good resources that we've provided and you've sort of supported, and then you can work at home independently and not sort of fall back on your work and your studies.
The art packs will, although you might be charged £10 for them, they'll actually be worth at least twice that amount. So we're basically, what you're getting is you're getting a £20-odd art pack for £10. That's the idea of it.
Okay. I don't know whether there's, there was, a lot of you have done a summer project. I'll just see if I can, I'll stop sharing the screen a minute, and Bethany, have we got time to show anything else or not? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say you've got about another 5 minutes.
Okay. Have there any questions come through at all?
There's no questions come through at the moment, but if any do come in, what I'll do is I think as long as I'm unmuted, you should still be able to hear me. So if anything comes in, like now, I'll just say if anyone does have any questions, like I said at the beginning, in that chat facility at the bottom, pop them in there, and I can fire them over to Jim or David. Okay. But no, you go for about another 5 minutes, Jim.
Okay, hopefully this will turn up. I've got it at the bottom of my computer, but just for a couple of minutes then, this is a project that we set for students who'd already applied early on, so it might include some of yourselves. And it's just a little quick selection going through some images that have been done. So we wanted to sort of give students an opportunity to try and do some work before we start, and for us to sort of help and comment on that. So it was basically, while we're all indoors, it was trying to think about a project where you could actually do it looking out through windows or doorways and that sort of thing. So this is student work, and it may include yours. Right? So there's bits of photography, so you can see, obviously it's rained that afternoon, but it's quite a nice little sort of images, moving images from cars. Well, that's, if we've got Maisie here, you're on show.
I like that back garden one. That's really nice.
Yeah.
There's been some really good images come through. Actually, I've received them and sent them.
Oh, that's right, Bethany.
Yeah,
yeah.
Been some really nice ones.
Yeah,
That's lovely. I love that thing with the 4 different times on it. That's
it's
really
really
nice.
clever, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
little painting. So if James is here, well done.
Lovely, really nice work. Nice and digital drawing. No, those are nice.
They're really good, aren't they? Yeah.
They're great. That one on the left, especially, I really like
Yeah,
that.
something like that one. Yeah. Yeah. Elsie.
Yeah, terrific. Image was inspired by David Lynch. Do you know, I'd thought that. That kind of
Oh,
reminded me.
did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So some great responses.
Yeah, terrific. They're really nice.
The cat's appeared. Like they do.
Oh, really impressed. That's really nice work.
Yeah. Well done, Emily. A picture from a park. Not sure which one it is. Well, is that, it could be a Victoria Park actually, couldn't it? The
Like someone who lives near Blackpool Tower.
oh yeah. Dylan. There you go, Dylan. Quite expressive mark making there.
Nice, yeah.
Well, and a little bit more technical stuff going on.
Yeah.
Bit of perspective. Well done, Kyle.
Oh, those are nice.
Different times of the day.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
Nice little series, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. That's lovely, that.
I mean, that would be a good start for doing some paintings and things from it and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Well done, Chloe.
Excuse me.
I think the important thing about the project is just having a go, really. Just being willing to try. But yeah, these are lovely. Really nice.
I mean, if you've had the project and you haven't submitted anything, yeah, hopefully this might inspire you. And we'll.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't. When students start on the course, we don't expect you to be Michelangelo or Picasso. We really don't. The most important thing, I think, is that willingness to just try things and have a go. These are great.
They're really good, aren't they? Yeah. Nice little pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
Photograph studies, and then a digital version of that. Yeah, great.
I think the nice thing about the project is it's got them all to think about composition, about shapes inside a shape. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's a theme I like myself. You know, I often draw through a window, looking at things through. I like this idea of layers. You know, the things in the room that you're in.
Yeah.
Look,
the window becomes a sort of viewfinder, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like
and then the window
seals it off.
Yeah, and then obviously the things in it.
Yeah.
And if I teach 3D mainly, wood, metal, plastics, and ceramics, but I teach 3D drawing, and often you can get, it's called atmospheric perspective, where things get lighter as you go further into the distance. So if you look into the distance, things get grayer, don't they? Yeah, and less distinct. And artists use this sort of technique where you might have things in the foreground near to you that are really dark and vibrant. Yeah, and as you get further away in the atmosphere, it diminishes and gets less colourful, so it gradually greys out. And we can use, artists use that sort of approach to create atmosphere or depth within a painting or drawing. There's a little tutorial for you. Okay. All right.
Right, it looks like so far we've not had any questions in, but we are sort of coming to the end of the session now. So if anyone has got any questions, could you just pop them into the chat facility for me within the next couple of seconds, and then we can get them answered for you. Again, if there's anything that came up, or there was anything that you wanted to speak to Jim about or anything, he has provided us as details, at him and the team, their details. So if any of you had the chance to jot those down, fab. If not, you will get a follow-up email to sort of thank you for joining the event, and you'll have details there of like the admissions team and that sort of thing. So any questions, or if there's anything you think I should have asked that earlier on, you will have contact details for the college, and we can always put you in touch with the right person. Doesn't look like there's any questions coming in at the moment, so we're going to wrap that up if that's okay. So thank you, Jim and David. That was really useful. Some good information there, and it was nice to see some artwork as well for the students to see what they potentially could be doing next year. Is there anything you want to add before we end, guys?
Just thanks very much for appearing, you know, and hopefully it was useful. If there's anything, you know, that you're not sure about, yeah, either email me or email Bethany in the admissions, and we'll try and answer it before we start. All right. Thanks for attending, and have a good day.
Oh, thank you very much. So thanks everyone, and yeah, you'll get a follow-up email and information on enrolment and things like that. Well, thanks very much, and hopefully we'll see you in September.